Hello, my beautiful butterflies! Wakey, wakey, rise and shiny, shiny. How are we doing today? Amazing, I know it. So this video is all about self-love. If I'm trying to preach self-love to you, I should probably tell you my story and how I got here in my journey and the process, because it's not been an easy one. It's hard, it's really hard, but it's amazing at the exact same time. And completely worth it, obviously. So I'll just talk about my journey of self-love. So hopefully I'm hoping that we have similar stories and you can just kind of like hop on the train and be like, damn, I can get to the top of the ladder, because every single one of us has all this potential. If you can find 100% self-love, 100%, you will feel what I'm talking about. So self-love is a very hard, difficult thing to have. I mean, it's not something that you are born with. If you have parents that have self-love and are confident, you're most likely to watch them and learn it and have it as well. But everyone still has a little bit of learning to do on their own. So it takes a while to get that self-love, and it's a lot of thinking, doing a lot of deep thinking, and everything that happens that is bad is not bad. It's a learning experience. This video is self-love, so that's why I decided to do no makeup, because I 100% love myself, and yeah, so why wear it? People will be like, yeah, so why do you wear makeup then if you love yourself? Well, bitch, makeup does not mean self-love or not self-love. It means I love doing my makeup and I only do it for me, myself, and I, no one else. So now we got that all nice and cleared up. So let's keep on moving. So I got my self-love face on, all natural. The amount of people I know that have 100% self-love is like almost zero. Maybe maybe two friends at the max. Because it's a very hard thing, and most people don't have it because, I don't know, there's a lot of issues why they don't have it. So if you judge someone saying like, I don't really like their hair, or their outfit's ugly, that's judging. So that means that's automatically you don't have self-love. If you can judge, you don't have 100% self-love. I don't know how to make that make sense, maybe later on. But okay, anyways, so my journey started when I was 20. So I've been on this love train for 5 years. Woot woot. It's gonna be 6 coming up in like December, January. That's when I started it. Sophomore year of college, I knew that where I wanted to be, I was so far from where I wanted to be. I was like, oh, fuck. It's gonna take like years for me to achieve of the Sierra I know who I am. Like the girl, the soul of me, the person on the outside did not match my soul. And I was like, I'm in for a lot of work. And yes, I was. And it's been amazing going through the process of this transformation. It's been a glorious time getting to know myself in every nook and cranny, you know? And discovering all like the dark truths that you start remembering that you have suppressed, bringing them up, and just going through all the emotions and how you are the way you are and who you are because of what you've done, who you've been with it, who you're raised by. It is just amazing going through all that, sorting it away, like doing your laundry and actually putting it away, organizing it. That is, it's called shadow work. So I didn't realize that's what it was called until like recently. So that's what you start doing when you start going through those old memories. So that's what you do. You start bringing that up, and all bad things happen for a reason. Nothing is truly bad, because it's really just a learning experience. Anything that's negative, dark is a learning experience, and it's amazing to go down and say, okay, I learned something really good from that. And then you get a boing, pop up and be an all-star, shining star. And it's gonna always happen your whole life. We all know self-confidence, we can slowly learn it we obviously learn it by watching others. So if you have parents that are like, 100% self-love, love themselves, and they're in the mirror saying, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that, and they're like, you're beautiful, no, 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 no. Obviously, like, your self-love is gonna be boosted if that's what you do with your mom. But my mom would stand in the mirror and say, oh, I'm fat, I have to lose weight, and literally, and how do I look? So this is why people should not have kids in their young 20s, because they don't get to find out who they are while they're raising a kid that's absorbing all this information. And that was probably really awkward, kid. So can we just like take that out that I just licked my lips like that? So yeah, so, you know, if that's how you're being raised, watching your mom always in the mirror, hating yourself, not having self-confidence, yada, yada, yada. And then, you know, the person she had to look up to also didn't have, my grandma, didn't have self-confidence, 100% love. So it's just a bad generation trait that's been passed on, to a point that I see my grandma, I see my mom, and I'm like, I don't want that. I want to live by the universe. I want universal love. I want to just be equal and just go with the flow, baby. Just go with the flow. Just move like the water, you know? Just flow with it, and everything will be okay. And my mom and my grandma just are not in tune with that. They just think I'm crazy, or yeah, so I'm not crazy. I'm with it. I'm just, life is so good. So when you grow up like that, obviously I'm not going to have no self-confidence in myself. And then take all the childhood trauma. And then we came from a family that suppressed emotions. You're not supposed to express any way you basically feel. You're just supposed to be like a robotic, like bad generations, just the same habits repeating over and over again, unless once like me, like a new generation just says, wait a second, I no longer like that. I see the pattern. It doesn't work. It's not good for you. It's unhealthy. It takes a toll on your whole body, mind, and soul, because it's one. The day I knew that I had to start this journey of self-love was the day I took my first yoga class. So my mom had been trying to get me to do yoga for a while, because she started it 2 years before that. You know, it was always in the back of my mind. So at college, I took a class and we had to do physical activity and take one of the rec courses at the gym. So I picked yoga because my mom was trying to pressure me into it. My first class, I'm like sitting there like, well, I don't really know what to expect. You know, I've never even seen anyone really do it. So, you know, it starts off, I think we start in child's pose, because like that's, you know, a beginning pose. And, you know, the instructor's like talking, anyone new here, yada, yada, yada. I just want to let you know, child's pose is the resting pose. So take this pose whenever your body needs it. So I'm laying there in child's pose and I'm thinking, resting? What does she mean by resting? And I'm like looking around the room with my eyes looking around at the girls. But yeah, everyone looks nice and restful. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, fuck, this hurts! How is this a resting pose? My body was on fire. and it's just like, that's when it hit me like a brick wall. Like, I have a lot to do. I have a lot to work on. And it's gonna take me years to get through this. We get on the mat and she's like, okay, now we're gonna do the wide legs. No, before you get to wide legs, let's just like, eventually we come up and we're on our just standing. And then she's like, touch your toes. I've never been able to touch my toes in my life. Never once, and I'm 19, 20. I've never touched my toes in my life. But it's okay, because it's a learning experience. So I don't know, you know, it was one thing, like I always wanted to be able to do the cartwheel, the wheel, all the fun things that my best friend Marina was doing. She was in gymnastics. And I was so jealous, and all the other girls could do it. And I was just like, as a kid, I just couldn't do it. And I know, and my mom put me into a gymnastics class, but it was like, I was already too past the point my muscles were way too tight. I was never gonna get there, if that makes sense. I needed yoga, and no one told us this. So anyways, my yoga class, never touched my toes. I was able to touch my toes within 6 months. So that's how but like I just kept going back. So I started going like twice a day to yoga classes because I felt the difference instantly. I felt the difference. You know, I used to have the hunch in my neck, and that's where a lot of my pain was. Like that was always flared up on fire. My neck and shoulders would just throb. Then it would make my lower back throb, and then my whole body was always, I guess, like in chronic pain. But I just blocked it out because like my family was built to be warriors. Just like pain doesn't exist unless you let it be. You know, that type of thing. I remember going to the yoga classes and be like, what kind of stuff can I do for my neck? And we did a few, but like I realized all that pain I was having wasn't normal. And that knot you could really feel is just like, I was getting a hump back because that's how tight I was. I know what's so funny? My neck and the hump and stuff was so, why it was so hunchy, what was so tight that was making everything like hunch over? My freaking toes and my ankles. My ankles and toes were so tight. It was like pulling this down. And once I started freeing up my toes and ankles, I was able to start freeing this up, and then I've been able to start freeing everything up. But it's so insane doing child's pose and learning it was resting, and it was awful for me. I got to realize I needed self-love, and this is how I was going to do it. This is how I was going to find my self-love, because I was doing meditation with my breath. That tightness, you know what that tightness is from? It's not the lack of stretching and whatnot. The tightness is all of your suppressed emotions. That's all your suppressed, built up emotions that you have tucked inside of you and didn't ever get to express. Those dark, awful, traumaness, even happy moments. If you weren't like, woo, I'm so happy, like happy birthday. If you didn't express that happiness, then you also tucked that happiness down inside of you somewhere. So that's what all that tightness really is. Lots of unwantedness, a whole bunch of negativity, stuff that you need to get out and you don't want. It's mostly stress and unwantedness. And if you had a lot of childhood trauma, then you probably suppressed it like we usually do as humans, and then it has nowhere to go. I was raised in a house where you didn't express any type of emotions, basically. Like even like being happy and excited, I was like taught to you're supposed to be quiet, but I was always like breaking the rules and really rambunctious and feisty. I always told the truth and was spunky, but like things that happened, because I was a punching bag, like verbal abuse every day. Like I was a punching bag, and I just kept all that down in me, didn't really express it out loud. Never told my mom, like, can you please stop? Or maybe I did, I don't think I did. But I just kept all that in, and like watching my dad always drunk or on drugs, killing my cat, beating other animals, just keeping that all inside. That's traumatic, especially for a child. And I had so much darkness, badness, negativity built up. That's why all my muscles were so tight, and I was just like, I was literally a concrete sack. Literally, it was so miserable feeling. It was awful. If you are like me, you feel awful, you feel stiff, you're looking for the light, because the light's already within, baby. It's already there, and you just have to find it. You have to find that light that's in you, and then when you do, you hold on to it, and you just keep climbing higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until you can't go no more. So, start. And if you don't know where to go, start with yoga. That's what I did, because yoga is going to get you to really focus on those tight spots where you've tucked away those suppressed emotions. You have to do yoga. Like yoga is like the only way around it. And then you get to learn to shut off your mind and just think about your breath, be in tune with just you and your soul. Think about where you send that breath, send it to that spot. People, when you're exercising or you're going to start doing yoga, you start to feel that like pain. Obviously, if you're going to tear, obviously pull off. But most people just start to feel like a little bit, and they're like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. No. You have to hold the pose for 1.5 minutes to start getting into that deep fascia tissue. Hold it for 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. And that's the minimum. Like, you really should like hold it. I like to hold 3 to 5 minutes. No more than like 7 to 10. I don't know. 3 to 5, that's a great one. But 1.5 minutes for beginning people, that's good too. Because some poses I do like the 1.5 minutes because it's way too hard. I have a lot to work on, and I bet you there's so many of you that are way past the level I'm at right now, and that's amazing. Keep going, girl. Keep going, guy. Start with that yoga. Start learning where you send that breath, send it to the spot that hurts. Hold it there, and then when you exhale, release all that negativity and wantonness, and watch you just slightly stretch a little bit more, and then you just keep breathing into that spot and releasing a little bit more negativity and wantonness and a little bit of stress every exhale. You just get lighter and lighter and lighter, and you just feel better and better and better. And that's why yoga and meditating is so addicting because you feel amazing afterwards. There's a reason why, because you literally are getting rid of the unwantedness. And you're feeling all those cracks and snapples. I just had a whole bunch. It feels amazing. So I work on my yoga all day long. When I'm sitting here, in the car, anything I'm doing, I'm always like, oh, yoga, like how's my posture? Trying to make those crackles and snapples. So start being aware of your spine, because your spine is the most important thing in this body. Because where do our thoughts like, oh, I have an itch. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I have to use the restroom. Where do you get those signals of I need to do those? Why is that? Because of your nervous system, your nerves telling you. And what is the home to the nervous system? The spine. The spine is so important. Why are we not teaching this in school to all the kids? Like, this is something kids should be doing 2 hours a day, hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon. Why are we not teaching kids this? How important. Anyways, so your spine is that important. So that's where you have to get that spine in alignment, and then once you do that, you start finding that self-love, you start finding that self-confidence. You look in the mirror and you go, wow, I am beautiful. Wow, I love me. I love my body. And then when you're breathing into all this deep muscle, when you breathe deeper, you're also exploring more of you and getting to know more and more of you. You're releasing new memories. When you start releasing those negative ones, they start popping back up in your head, and then you got to deal with them. You have to heal those memories. So when you see a negative, bad moment, because it's a learning moment. So learn what you needed to learn. Even if it's bad, something bad happened to you, there's something that needs to be taught there, that you never want to be like that, maybe. Anyways, it doesn't matter. There's a life lesson there. So you take it, you learn it. Not only that, if you're seeing yourself in third dimension, that means it's extra traumatic, and you need to heal that memory. So I want you in your head, close your eyes. Obviously, you're picturing yourself in that moment. I want you to hold you, that child, that young version of you. I want you to hold them, hug them, love them, tell them anything and everything they need to hear, that they needed in that moment. Let them know that it's okay and everything is amazing and yada, yada, yada. I don't know what you need to hear in that moment, so you'll figure that out. Heal those memories and just keep watching your inner self and soul be filled with more love and just amazingness. Did you know love is the first emotion of all? We'll talk about that later. Isn't that cool though? It's literally the first and only emotion, really. Because all the other emotions flow back into that one. Love. Anyways, that's why love's so important, because that's how we get to express and experience all the other emotions, is because of love. That's why I literally try to hound yoga onto everyone. And with that being said, many people don't want to do it because most people don't want to get to know themselves on that deeper level, like the deepest of the deep. And the friends that do join me with it, like, I love them, and I know how amazing their soul is, because everyone that joined me for yoga is an amazing person. Anyone that refuses, they're scared of their self. And a key factor to absolutely know you don't have self-love is if you can't be alone by yourself, if you can't do nothing by yourself, that's because you don't have self-love. You hate being by yourself because you don't like who you are. That's how much you don't love yourself. So that's a key component to know that you need help. And yoga is literally, I swear by it, the answer to all your problems. Literally, yoga and weed go hand in hand. You'll literally solve all your issues and you'll become a freaking superhero. Literally, you'll be flying like the freaking beautiful butterfly that you are, baby. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so yoga, that's how it helped me find that self-love, because I came from a home of none. So I had none. I thought I did, but I didn't, because I would always judge myself like this, that, because that's what my mom did. But then I just got to a point, like, I love myself, and I can remember, like, my mom, like, trying to, you're too skinny, you've gained some weight, and it's like, bitch, I love who I am. You can't bring my light down. You cannot dim it. Oh, man, so it's been one hell of a journey. In yoga, it takes years of practice. Guys, when I knew child's pose was the resting pose and it was painful and I couldn't touch my toes and I was literally a concrete sack, I knew this was for me, and I didn't want anything more. If it took me 20 years to get where I want to be, 20 years, it's worth it. So the fact that if you don't start now, just imagine what you're going to be like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How much worse all your other problems are going to keep building up, and building up. Getting further and further and further and further away from where you want to be. But if you start now, you're going to get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Instead of getting you further and further and further. You get what I'm saying? Like, which one would you rather be? I'd rather keep getting closer to the person I want to be than further away. Because the further you go, the more work you're going to have to put in whenever you do start. Does that make sense? Okay. Like, when I wish I would have started yoga at 15 or younger, I wish, but you know what? 19, basically 20, that's when it was, and thank God I did then. But you know what? If I was 30 finding this video, I would be like, thank God I found the answer to everything. Because once you find the truth of the answer, how to fix all your problems, it's worth all the time and the effort you're going to have to put into it. Because in the beginning, if you're like me, super unflexible, it's a lot of work. If you're already surpassed this, you got it easy breezy and you're so fucking lucky. So like all the other people that don't, stick with it, breathe with it. Just maybe we'll do some videos together, because you have to be focused on your breath and where you're putting it and where you're releasing all that unwantedness. That's the key. And then self-love will come with all of that. You'll start looking in the mirror saying, I'm beautiful, oh yes, this. So yoga, meditation, those two things, that will help with self-love. Finding things that bring you joy. Getting rid of anything that doesn't serve you. Get rid of it. Go full organic. That's something I wish I could have done a long time ago, but I was stubborn, I guess you could say, and thought it didn't matter, because I worked at Monsanto for 7 years, you know, the company that made all the lost shit GMOs. It's not that bad. I was there in the cornfield, you know, literally pollinating it. It's fine. It's real corn. It's real corn. It's fine. But you know, when I started to think about it, I started working there when I was 14. I was like always that pesty kid. I was like, why am I doing this? What's it for? No, why this? But you know, that kid. That was me always. I would ask, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why? And they never gave me any answers. They're like, just for research, just research, just research. And they're just really weird. And then after that, like the 4th year I've worked there, that's when like it started getting kind of in the not social media, but kind of in the media. Monsanto, GMOs. That's when GMOs started to like pop up. And then eventually they got bought out by Bayer, whatever that company is. I probably wouldn't buy any of their stuff because obviously they're kind of linked together. Anyways, so I was just like, no, organic and that's just, no, it's all made up. No. So organic, it's not made with pesticides. We'll just say this apple organic, amazing, perfect. So an apple over here, they both look like apples. You can't tell the difference when you look at them. The thing is that their DNA is different. This apple that's been sprayed with pesticides, their DNA has been altered and now has basically a toxin, mutated gene. I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's bad. Like you can wash that apple 100 times, soak it. It's still good. The DNA has changed in it because it had pesticides on it. You got to absorb into it. Just like, you know, if we absorb a poison, it would be like get embedded into us. And so I don't know. You get what I'm saying? It isn't. I don't know. So, anyways, the 2 apples. So anyways, there is a huge difference between organic and not organic. I really didn't think there was, and I'm a firm believer organic is the way to go. I think we need to, as a community, and unite together as one love, we need to put a demand stop for the pesticides being used in all of this food. Because think about it, there's so many solutions that we don't have to use pesticides. They're choosing to poison us on purpose, guys. They want us to be sick and gross. The Matrix want us to basically die and get cancer. That's what they want. Isn't that really sad? That's literally what they want. And that's why organic food's so much more expensive. Because they know money controls almost every single person on this planet. So if they make shitty processed food cheap, what are people gonna buy? The shitty processed food, not the really expensive stuff. Because when you compare the two by looking at them, they're the same. They're identical. They're the same. There's no difference. So why would you pay $2 for one apple and $1 for this one? They look the same. It's an illusion. It's an illusion for you to buy the cheaper option, which is poison to your body to basically kill you. Basically for you to get cancer, and then you to go get chemo, and then you get radiation, all this drama. And then eventually you die. And then how much is it for like a casket? Because I want you to get buried because that's where all the money is. Guys, it's all money. How can they make more money? And what's the number one money-making market in the world? Healthcare. Healthcare is. Especially in the USA, but anywhere. Healthcare. How do you make more money in the healthcare? By making the population sick. By making everyone sick to put the money in the healthcare. And it's all controlled. Because what do they want? They want us to get vaccines. They want us to do this and that. It's a controlment. So if you start eating organic, you're not going to be full of those pesticides, full of that hormones, artificial shit. So you'll start to really see yourself in a more clear picture. You'll have a deeper understanding of your soul, of this universe, why life is here, what the true meaning of it is all. Because life is so beautiful and it's all around us, and most of us have got stuck inside of a fake reality, which is the matrix of grinding it out, working as much as possible to have more money so you can buy more nice things to only impress others, and just grinding your life away. And then, maybe you do get to retire when you're 60, but fuck, you're just gonna be old and broken down. And if it's just, that was no life. And then your whole life just, whoa, you're 60. I did nothing besides work. You didn't even get to live. You just existed. Get out of that somehow. Obviously, we all need money. Get out of that as much as you can. Stop watching movies. Stop getting on social media. Blah, 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 blah. Get outside. This is all the ways to find that self-love. Be by yourself every day. Do something with just you and explore stuff that you like to do by yourself. I do everything by myself. It's really fun just doing what you love to do and getting to really know who your soul is and your true divine purpose in this life. Because if you're too busy in all this other crud, you're never going to be able to get to that true divineness. I mean, I'm still working on it. I'm still climbing the ladder with you all. Self-love journey, it's a fun one. And it's something that you have to keep working on probably your whole entire life. Self-love, baby butterflies. So self-love. Start with yoga, start with meditating, start organizing all that suppressed emotions that you've had. Start organizing them and putting them away nice and neatly and healing all those traumas. Watch yourself feel lighter and lighter and start feeling more connected to the light that's within, the God that's within, because the light and God is all right here with us. And you just have to find it. It's waiting there to be discovered. It's probably always talking to you, but you never want to listen to it because you're always like, but society has this picture of the real life and mine looks nothing like it. And I have to really try to do this one instead because this one isn't the typical one, the normal one. When you really should start listening to this voice. Don't listen to that one, listen to this one. Start that journey of self-love. The more flexible you are, the less negativity and suppressed emotion and unwantedness. So if you're really flexible, then you are probably almost there. Then you just have to work on some other issues, and hopefully we're able to find those and dig deeper there. But if you're like me and you're a concrete slap of freaking rocks or something, you're starting from the bottom, time to rise up with me. It's going to be years. I mean, it took me 4 years to be able to do a bridge pose. 4 years. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot of yoga. A lot of time and effort. But it was worth it, and I'm just going to keep on trying harder and harder. If you're starting from the bottom, just remember that you're climbing up and that you're not going back down. You're never going to be that girl again. You're never going to know her again. You're just going to keep blossoming into a more beautiful soul that you already are. Finding that true divineness of you, baby. Well, anyways, thank you for listening to me. Woo! Enjoy the rest of your day because it is glorious and it's beautiful. And life is literally so amazing. Don't forget to say thank you and I love you to all of the creations around you. Just be grateful and thankful. The universe is always listening. Remember to say, I am, baby. Okay, bye-bye.